Hey guys, it's the Chey here. Today we're going to be doing a build of my childhood home. So, when I grew up in this house, I lived with my grandmother, so I just did two Sims, a teenager and a grandmother. I did not really base them on me or my grandmother, I just made them. So, I did end up doing the floor plan off camera, so that's going to be the next thing you're going to be seeing, because it was kind of hard to work out the details of it on camera. So as you can see, in the very front is what would have been my childhood bedroom, my ensuite bathroom, the living room, the kitchen area, and then it goes my grandmother's master bathroom and then her room. So this is a trailer. It's not exactly to scale. It's kind of hard to scale real life houses in The Sims, but I did try my best. That wall that's dividing the living room and the kitchen is only temporary. I only put it there that way I could put the flooring in without having to worry about dragging it and making sure that it was all in the right spot. It would just be a lot quicker if I put the wall there and then deleted it. So in this trailer, the living room and the kitchen is pretty much just one big main area, and then like I said, it's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. And where I put that front door, I know it looks silly with the bedroom door and then a little closet door, but that actually is how the entrance is in the home. It's a very tight squeeze. I remember that was my least favorite part about that house. Trying to move any kind of furniture in or anything like that was a giant pain in the butt. But that's okay. And these bay windows don't look exactly how the trailer looked, but they were the closest thing I could get to. There are 3 bay windows. There's one in each bedroom, and there's one in the kitchen. And the one in the kitchen is probably the closest to real life. I mean, none of them are exactly how it looks in real life. They are bigger in real life, but they still have like the whole wall doesn't jut out. It is just a bay window that's on the side of the house. You know, it's not like there's any floor space there. So I just used what I had best. And originally both rooms had like a sliding door closet, but in my room I took off the doors and kind of just put that space open, and I actually had a little couch in there when I was a teenager. I thought it was really cool. But so that's why in this room I kind of did this little archway, but then you'll see later in my grandmother's room I do put the sliding doors. But with the columns in my room, that was the best way that I could figure out how to represent that space in there. I still think it represented it pretty well, because in the real life room there's still the wooden barrier, whatever you want to call it, around the outskirts of where the closet used to be. So I think it's pretty well represented. And then the placement on this bookshelf is actually real. It goes right up against the side of the couch, but it's alright. You know, it's just been there. And that bookshelf actually appears twice in this house, because since I've moved out, she put it in the living room, but it used to be in my room. So since I was trying to build my room, kind of like how it was when I still lived there, I just kind of put it in both places. I figured it didn't hurt. And then that little wooden piece that I just put in, that was really hard to match, because in real life it's a build-in and it's actually facing towards the chair. You know, in real life obviously you can kind of squeeze behind the chair and access it, but in The Sims you definitely can't. I wasn't exactly aiming to make this house the most Sim usable house. I was really just trying to recreate. So that's why like the desk doesn't have a chair. There's a couple other things, like there isn't really a trash can. That's just because I forgot, but there's one in the bathroom. But I didn't really build this house so much of gameplay in mind. I was really just trying to recreate. So I think I did a pretty good job. Obviously, you guys haven't seen my grandmother's house, but either way. For this area right here in the kitchen, I actually had to text my grandmother and ask her if she could send me a couple photos, because for some reason I could not figure out the floor plan. So I told her that I was making this video and that I would show it to her when it was done. So if you're watching this, hi grandma. But anyways, so I'm just working on her bathroom. So basically how it is in her bathroom is that she has the shower tub combo, and then there's like a little dividing wall, and then the toilet, and there's actually a over the toilet organizer, but I couldn't exactly put one of those as we don't have one of those. So I kind of just did my best with these wall organizers, and I thought it still came out alright. I did end up trying to put columns there, like see if I could shrink them down or something to see if it could look like supports, but that didn't exactly work out. And in her real life bathroom, how it is it has the counter, and then it has this little cupboard that was built in, so I kind of just glitched this cupboard into the wall to make it look like that. And then it has a big mirror, some little vanity lights on top, and the sink. So, you know, it's a 70s trailer. It's nothing super fancy, but it's home. So I wanted to see if I could recreate it as accurately as possible. And that would be the grandmother's room, and now we're back into my room. I had like a wrought iron what do you call it, like bed frame with like the spikes and the pokes and all that gothicness. So that was the closest thing that I could find to it. So that is the bed that I ended up going with. I did try to match the furniture at least fairly accurately. I mean, I am limited to what they have in The Sims and, kind of how you can do the layout. Because, in trailers, like that little ensuite bathroom in real life is quite a bit smaller, but you can't do like half tiles or anything like that in The Sims. So I kind of had to work with what I got. And if you see that little empty section right there, in real life that's a closet, so I had to do something with that space in order to make the floor plan work out, so I just left it empty as if it actually was a closet. And the other thing that I had a hard time finding was windows. Believe it or not, The Sims doesn't have a large variety of windows that you would find in a trailer from the 70s. And I don't blame them, but it's okay. We worked with what we got. We got these two little porthole windows, which are pretty similar to what we have in the bathroom in real life. And then these two larger windows that we have on either side of the bedroom, and then the two on the either side of the living room. And the funny thing about that big window that's near my bed right there, every winter it would like ice over and freeze over because it's just like a single pane glass window. But I still decided to have my bed there for whatever reason. I was allowed to decorate it however I wanted or rearrange my furniture however I wanted, but for some reason, I just kept my bed there. It never really was that much of a problem. I just piled on an extra blanket. But here we are in my grandmother's room, and I was doing the sliding closet doors, like I said that she had. And like I said, originally in my room, I had those too. I just thought I'd be a cool teenager and rip them out. So that's what I did. But at the end of her two little closets, she kind of has like a built-in cubby space. And we don't really have something to represent that in The Sims, so I just took this bookcase and kind of half put it in the wall. I still think it fit pretty well. And here's another way that you can see that I wasn't exactly, planning on having it be very useful to actual Sims, because there's no way they're accessing that bookcase. But it's alright. There's not a problem. I was attempting in real life accuracy, not exactly gameplay ability. So, unfortunately, that teenager and the grandmother that are in this house might have a little bit of a hard time. But since I'm not actually playing as them, I'm really not that concerned about it. Sorry, Sims. But anyways, so now we're going on to a little bit of the outside. I do kind of hop back and forth a little bit. But it's a trailer, so obviously it's on some kind of foundation. And it has like a tiny little porch, honestly a 2x2. So 4 squares really is pretty much the size of the porch. And it's just the stone porch, full stone. The stairs are stone, and it has like a wrought iron handrail. This part was a little bit difficult because there are so many different stone patterns in The Sims, but unfortunately none of them match. So like the stair stones aren't going to match the wall paint stones, and they're not going to match the floor stones, so I kind of just went with the closest things that I could find. But then we're going on to the driveway. So it kind of has a 2-car driveway, and then it has a little walkway up to the porch, and then out back there's kind of like a brick patio area almost. So then it has a little bit of a pathway going up that way. And then over here we have some little flower beds. They didn't have, a mini fence that kind of fit what the stonework was on the actual flower beds in my house. I ended up finding one that was a little bit closer, but the ones in our house are just like the standard little scalloped edge, little concrete poured ones. There's nothing that fancy. And this stone wall, I had to put it in because I always loved this stone wall. We used to have this neighbor, an elderly old man. He was so nice. But when we first moved in, I was like 8 years old. He was actually in the process of building that rock wall. And the reason why that little gap's there that I deleted is because in real life, when he saw us moving in, he left me that little gap so I could, come over and visit them without having to go all the way around, which, was very, very sweet. But yeah, so it meant a little something, so I made sure to put that gap in that wall. And then this right here, what you see me trying to do when I'm downscaling this tree, I have no idea what the plant is called in my grandmother's yard, but it looks exactly like a pine tree, except for it's only like a foot or two tall. And I'd lived there for like 10 years, so I know it's not getting any bigger. And the little needles on it are like super spiky. I have no idea what the plant's called, but that was the closest way that I could represent it was to just take a pine tree and then just scale it way down. So, that's what I did. And then she has a bush in the front. They don't really have one that looks like it, so I just put down a bush. And then she has a few trees. I would have put more trees, but the only thing is that, as we all know, in The Sims, the trees are kind of like oversized. So I picked these little kind of small trees, and I just stuck 2 of them in the yard so it wouldn't be much of an overkill, but in real life there are a few more. But the scaling in The Sims, as we've said before, is a little bit difficult when you're trying to relate it that closely to real life. And this little flower bed around the birdhouse, in real life it doesn't actually have flowers because me and my grandmother can't keep anything alive, but I've always wanted to put flowers there, so I put them. And then back here, this shed has absolutely no purpose, but in real life there's a shed there, and so I felt the need to put it in. So I just did the little bit of landscaping that it has. It has like 2 little mini flower beds in the front, and it's just a really bare basic shed. It's painted like the house, has a door. In real life it has a one-way window, so you can only see from the inside out, but it's whatever. So I just put the door, the window, and that's all I did with it. Painted the outside. It's purely aesthetic, honestly. And then I just go around with some terrain paint and just, put the little bits of dirt underneath the plants, and I filled in the flower beds with that. And then we're onto the roof. There's nothing fancy about a trailer roof. It's just going to be, a regular roof, and then we put black metal on top. So, honestly, it's a little bit boring, but that's exactly what it looks like in real life, so I'm not going to complain. And then the outside of it is white paneling on both the trailer and the shed. In that trailer park, there's actually a rule that your shed has to match your house, so painting it was definitely very easy. And here I am just going back over the driveway. I didn't like how dark it looked, so I wanted to lighten it up a little bit. It is an older driveway, so it's definitely not, fresh blacktop black. So, and then I'm going through, and I was kind of getting aggravated by the way the driveway was looking, because it's not that wide, so I kind of just gave it a diagonal and then used the plants to kind of buffer the harshness of that edge. So I think it ended up working pretty well. In real life, there's not flowers there, but oh well. Pretty much the only thing that I didn't keep accurate was the couple extra flowers I added, because I always wanted there to be a few more flowers, but I kill every plant. Every plant. So, it's okay. But now I'm just going on to the back porch. It's pretty much the exact same thing as the front porch, except for this one is wood. It's basically the same size, so I just did another 2x2. And the only thing that I wish the real trailer had, that this trailer has, is later on through the walkthrough, you'll see the view it has when you walk out onto the back porch. And let me tell you, we do not have that view in real life. If you walk out the back porch, you're going to see the road and then another lady across the street with a dog that barks way too much. That's all you see when you walk out that back porch in real life. So, maybe if Grandma is watching this, she might be excited by her little upgrade. But we're almost done with the build here. I'm just adding a couple more plants, and then we're going to go ahead and get to the walkthrough. I think I did a pretty good job of building the outside of my grandma's house. I mean, obviously you guys haven't seen my grandmother's house, but it really does look like I'm walking up to a version of her house pretty much. And here you'll see the pane of this entryway. I swear to God, this is what it actually looks like. The door opens towards the living room, and then there's my door, and then the closet door. I promise you that's really what it looks like, and that's really how much space you have. But here you see my room. It really is this bright of a yellow. When I was a kid, when I first moved in, I was like 8 years old, like I said, I was obsessed with SpongeBob. And I wanted my room SpongeBob yellow, and the whole thing is yellow. Ceilings, walls, everything. And then you walk out here, and here's the living room space, the little wardrobe she has, the little mirror wall, little entertainment stand, what would have been the build-in, a little, kind of 70s chandelier, the kitchen space. In real life, right in front of this wall right here, there would be a microwave, but there was not enough room to keep that and the walkway. So over here is just the little tiny washer and dryer combo. For some reason, right here, it glitches out. It doesn't show it, but then as you back away, you can definitely see it's there. So then we're going through again, and we're going to the bathroom. And like I said, you can see that the little over the toilet thing, I tried to put it in to make it look like that. And then that little cupboard, that's really how it looks in real life. It's a little glass wooden cupboard that kind of connects to that. And then in here, the sim already put clothes on the floor. I don't know why. But you can see the closet, the bureau she has. And I have no idea why this freaking counter is in this dang room. I don't remember it being there. I don't know when it got there, but it's there. We have to deal with it now. So here we go, just walking out the back door, and that is the view I'm talking about. I would have killed for that view as a kid, but it's alright. There's no problem. So, with that being said, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the little childhood home tour. And if you guys have any idea for future videos, make sure you comment that down below. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, all that other good stuff. It really does help out the channel, and it lets me know what you guys want to see. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye, everyone, and bye, Grandma.